So, Stephanie, just speak out loud so we can hear you again. Make sure you're plugged in.
Okay.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you.
Stephanie's here.
Stephanie here. Excellent. Okay, so one of the things you'll notice, thank you, that I have not done is invited you to introduce yourselves. But one of the things I like to do, so we do check-in at the beginning of each class, but we wait until after this exercise because I really like it being influenced by some actual process rather than, I don't know, that in the world way we will come in sometimes and say, I ran out of dog food today, or whatever it is that is kind of on your mind when you walk in. So I invited people into 3 minutes. Please say a few words about yourself, just something that shares with us about what's going on with you. Your business, what do you do? What do you want to do in your business to the extent you know and where you're at right now? For those of you who know what an elevator pitch is, please don't do it. Please let this be messy, let it be heartfelt, just let it be, you know, the way you talk about it now with your friends. And you can add in any impressions from the exercise if you like that in an insight or an aha. So, and I'm going to just move Stephanie so she can watch you talk.
Careful, just yeah, there we go. Can you see us?
Yes, I can see.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
can
who
see
would like to
you.
go first?
And of course, the connection
I'll go
is
first.
going out.
Oh,
We can hear you, Stephanie.
we can hear you.
Oh,
We hear you.
And we see you.
Yes.
No, she's not moving anymore.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
So we lost video, and it'll just try and. I'll
You'll try and call her.
yeah, it's
So one
trying.
of you can just start sharing as you do that.
I'll have my eye on that.
So I'm
Okay.
Jen. I was doing professional organizing and I'm now changing my business to Making Space for Success because I do energy work as well as potentially physically clearing clutter. I want to help highly sensitive middle-aged women who are in transition and most likely feeling frazzled and overwhelmed and what the fuck is wrong with me, that feeling of, oh my god, what do I do? I'm at my wit's end. Helping them find their balance, helping them feel peaceful, and find their passion. Like I'm doing with myself. Like what we all have gifts, and what are their gifts? And one thing I'm excited about is I love to travel. I love photography. I love genealogy. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna bring this stuff in to my business, but I'm excited to, I don't know, stay open to figuring it out and to allowing it to happen in some way or other. It's like, this is like the most challenging part of my life ever, I think, this last year and a half. And people have said, well, why don't you, maybe you should just quit. Maybe it's not time for you to do this, or maybe this isn't right. And it's like, I am such a seeker and a development and growth person that this is my vehicle for this right now. And if I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this business. And I'm excited about it. It is coming from my heart and soul. Anyway, so I've been working with Leslie for a while. I've been doing work with Thrive and some other taking other avenues. It's evolving. I'm evolving. I'm feeling more confident and strong, and it was really helpful to hear that my business is like, where's the captain of the ship? And that makes a lot of sense because it's like, okay, what do I do next? That's what I'm thinking to myself. And
the business said, I'm not the captain.
yeah, don't ask me. I'll be happy to join in with you. So anyway, I'm very excited to be here with all of you, and
Okay. Great.
okay, back on. Yeah.
Yay, Stephanie.
work in process.
Thanks, Steph. Jen, why don't you choose the next person? Why don't you choose Stephanie while we got Stephanie?
Stephanie, how about, would you tell us about yourself now and your business?
Okay, sure. So, let me see. I used to have a come into an alignment with any of, I thought I wanted to do this, want to do that, but I can't decide or feel right or feel aligned to any of the things. I now live in Houston and still trying to figure out how to start up a practice here. I think that's about it. Oh, last night I did have a dream. so I'm very comfortable working with people having like anxiety, depressions, because that's my personal experience. I'm very familiar with that. But of course, I'm not a licensed healthcare provider, so I can't advertise that, right? But in my heart, I always gravitate toward those things. But last night I had a dream that someone came up to me at an event and asked me, what is it that I do? And I said, oh, I practice NLP, EFT, and I work with people who are depressed, right? I don't say it out loud here. I only can like speak in my dream or something. And that lady's face was like she just cringed and then she pulled back, and I didn't feel right saying it. I feel like, oh, like that's really not it. But in the same dream last night, another version of that is that somebody asked me, what do you do? This is so funny. And I have this in my dream, I was leading like a woman retreat, and I feel right.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess that's where I'm gravitating toward now, is just to help like women to take a break and just to rejuvenate themselves or something.
Wow.
But yeah.
Nice.
From the depression.
Yes. Yeah, I guess it's another way of like that, or it's like the caregiver type, who always go out and take care of other business, but take care of themselves. I guess that's kind of like me. So in that dream, and I woke up and I was like, oh wow, that sounds like a great idea, but so I hope that I'm gonna do something like that. It's just another way of, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. That's very evocative for me. Thinking about all the strong women in your family, actually. I know Stephanie pretty well.
Yeah.
So Stephanie, choose somebody else. Point at somebody. You don't know everyone's names yet. You three say your names again, just so Stephanie can have
I
them
know
again.
Stephanie.
You know Catherine. Can you say your name?
I'm Cara.
And
I'm Julie.
Okay. So I'm familiar with Catherine. I've just worked with Julie. I think Carla.
Cara.
Okay.
Okay. It's really funny because I had a dream last night too, and I was going to talk
how
about
funny.
it. And this was, well, I'll say who I am and then I'll tell you about the dream. So I'm Cara. I work as an acupuncturist, and I just stopped being a volunteer teacher and to devote more time to my business. And I have 2 boys. One is almost a teenager, so that's been interesting. And so my dream last night was that I was at my childhood home and Leslie came over unexpectedly. And I was like,
How funny.
Hey Leslie, what's up? And then it kind of got into this anxiety thing where I was, all of a sudden you're like, let's go, Cara, it's time for the class, it's in Marin. And I was like, oh no. So I felt like I wasn't on top of it. I didn't know it was time, but all of a sudden it was time to go, and I was making like 18 different dishes because of course I was cooking for the class. And then some of you, I don't remember your faces, started showing up. So I was in my childhood home trying to get it together and trying to pack this lunch, and I was making everyone late. And then my husband was there, and he's such a sweetheart, but he was getting mad at me. And I was getting stern with him and feeling so weird that I was doing that in front of everyone. So it was just really wild, and I woke up thinking, gosh, am I really that anxious about... that was my interpretation, that I was anxious about my business. But I haven't felt inside, I've been excited about this class. Ever since I signed up, I feel like my business is starting to grow.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like it's the right thing to be doing. And I think what I'm learning from that dream last night and our exercise is that there is a lot of anxiety and pressure in my mind about it. You know, I've studied for years, and I feel like I'm really a collector of information, and putting it into practice, I'm afraid that it's not going to be perfect. Like, I'm afraid I have to really be perfect at it, or I'm not a good enough service. So that's what I'd like to work on, is really feeling like you said, good enough for now. Because I'm a recovering perfectionist, so yeah.
Would you mind if I offered up an alternative interpretation of your dream?
I would love that.
My experience is that one of my colleagues once said the best personal growth program in the world is starting your own business. That all your stuff keeps coming up. So maybe for everybody in the room, there's going to be healing of childhood wounds as part of this process, right? So I'm wondering if part of your unconscious was going, oh, we're going to go and heal some of this stuff. So, because that's the most important bit, actually. Then we'll learn the business stuff, but anyway, just an alternative to consider. Choose the next one.
Okay. Laura. I mean,
Julie.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, that's a great place to start because my mom
Why I
wanted to
said that.
call me Laura and thought that the double L would not trip off the tongue right, Laura Lucchese. And Barbara was also in the running, but she didn't want anyone calling me Barbie, so she settled on Julie. And let's see, my 49th birthday will be this Sunday, and
Happy
I feel
birthday.
like I'm Jen's perfect client because I'm highly sensitive. I'm pretty sure I have attention deficit disorder, and I've had a long journey of most of my life exploring and delving into different healing modalities. The first motive was to fix myself because I was just wrong and not good enough. And now the new motivation for the last couple of years is that there's nothing wrong with me. So what am I good at, and what do I like to do, and feeling safe, and that it's okay for me to be happy and actually get to choose a life that I want. I've had a lot of stuff to be grateful for, relationship wise, and I got to do amazing things. Like, I learned how to sail about 10 years ago, and I've traveled to amazing places like the Seychelles, and I helped deliver a 60-foot sailboat from Maine to Antigua via, we started in Maine, we stopped in Newport, Rhode Island, we went to Bermuda, and then on to Antigua. And it was a 6-week adventure. I got into yoga because I thought that it would improve my sailing.
Oh, interesting.
And then it ended up taking a life of its own, where I started practicing a fair amount of yoga and saw a flyer for a teacher training on the wall of my health club, and I said, why not? So I got certified 200-hour in Hatha Yoga, and from the moment I got that certification, I hung out as shingle and tried to turn it into a business, into a career, into a life. Also, I was a musician before. I have a degree in music. I sing, and I was also an extremely devout Catholic, and was involved in my church, and I was a cantor in the Catholic Church, and that was my paid work before I learned how to sail and found yoga and all of that, and I also taught voice. My work life has always been a little bit scant because I get a foothold and feel a boundary or a barrier or block or this belief that I can only go this far and no further. And what's happened in the past is that whatever, because I was working as a voice teacher, I would just drop it and look for something else.
Okay. So looking for some continuity?
Continuity?
I don't know, so things not dropping and starting.
Kind of feeling a wall that I wouldn't be able to go any further.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks.
Catherine.
Catherine.
I'm glad you waited till now for us to introduce each other. Came in like.
Yeah, and the technology got us all rattled. And
No,
then-
that was the nice part. It was a nice distraction.
Okay. By the way, I'm sorry. Cold feet?
Huh?
People were cold?
Oh, well,
Socks?
yeah, I love some
Oh, how
socks.
cute!
Thanks.
I just brought my little warm.
I noticed you all were a little chilly earlier, and these rooms do get a little cold sometimes.
Anybody else?
Well, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
So cute. What do I want to say? I think since I committed, I've been off and on this class. I feel
Mhm.
like it's been really important, but I in the last few years feel like I've been in a major focused, slightly manic attempt to create a new career for myself. I've been running a business for going on 15 years, and I love the business, and it barely supports me now. I've made it very part-time, and put a lot of energy into it. But I've been like trying to break up with my whole business. It's like that. And since I kind of committed, I don't know if there's a coincidence, but it hit me right now. I've been thinking, well, I just started my cycle, and I'm having this, like, I'm almost 50, and I'm just starting to, just feeling major emotional craziness, and I'm like, around alignment and fear and work and business and taking care of myself. And I think it's connected, it's probably hormonally influenced, but I think it's connected to my decision to take this class, actually. I think it's like my little workshop that started before the class. Kind of realizing that now. So I'd been studying counseling and then NLP and then some family constellation since 2010. And then I had a whole bunch of death in my family. My mom and my brother, and pretty much all my relatives, the relatives that are not like younger. So it's been a pretty griefy period. So I found that I go forward in my excitement and enthusiasm with a niche, and I write it, and then I crash, and I really feel like I don't have the energy or desire to support people. Like I need too much. And I struggle with getting that support because I just kind of get into a loop around, like, I really, like a financial anxiety loop around, I must get this going, but it's like I'm bleeding, but I need to like get Band-Aids for other people or something like that. So I've been very staccato with my business, with seeing clients over the last year, and things were moving forward, and then went to Burning Man in Montreal, and then it's just kind of, and in that period since I've been back for about 4 weeks, maybe 4.5 weeks, I've had incredible, like, do I even want to be a counselor? Like, I just really horrible, like, am I aligned with doing this? Like, I love supporting people, and when I have the energy, I'm always offering, but do I want to do it day in, day out? I'm also an artist,